I just spent 2 weeks in Japan, and here's what shocked me the most. Welcome back, everybody, to Richard White Global. Thank you for reaching out again. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and we will keep it going. We're going to do a multi-series video set on the 2 week trip that I just took to Japan. What a great experience it was. So let's get into it in the first video. So to start off with, looking about a 13-hour to 14-hour direct flight from the East Coast of the United States to Tokyo, Japan, which was our first stop of this excursion. And be prepared for jet lag because you're going to need it. Basically going over, you're going to lose an entire day. They are, in comparison, again, I'm on the East Coast, Eastern time zone, so that's what we'll reference in my series. You're looking at about 13 hours ahead. Living in the future is what Japan does. So, for example, if it's noon here, it is 1 a.m. the next day there. A little easier to keep track by just saying, hey, if it's a.m., it's p.m., if it's p.m., it's a.m., and add 1 hour. So after the 13-hour jaunt, which our layover was Detroit straight to Tokyo, about 13 hours, and the flight plan, if you've traveled much, what you'll notice is normally when you go from east to west, you gain hours. Well, not this time. Since we're going so far, you cross the international date line, so you're actually now ahead instead of behind. So that's where this gets really convoluted. And then reversely, when you come back, it's the one time you fly west to east and you lose time, or excuse me, you gain time. So basically we got back the same time we left, but we'll get into that later. So my first thought is when you fly into Japan, as we're approaching the island country, which is amazing. First thing I would say, if you can, upgrade to first class or as close to first class as you can, which we did. Well worth it when you're sitting for 13 to 14 hours straight, if you can, that is. So first thought when I crossed over that island, which, the pictures were amazing to approach the land. Again, we're going in the month of June 2026, which June is expected to be one of the wettest months of the year. Ironically, we only had one single day of rain out of the entire 14-day trip, other than one little sprinkle. So we were fortunate. They had typhoons the week or two before we got there, and ironically, they just had a typhoon and massive storms the week after we got back. So we got lucky. Very blessed. First thoughts. When you arrive in Haneda Airport, which basically is a self-built island airport because they don't have much land, state-of-the-art technology, very, very fast getting in and out of there. You can hit the trains, the subways, the Shinkansen high-speed bullet trains, whatever you need to do pretty quick. You have got to download or use Google Maps. It will get you around anywhere in Japan, just like you live there. They don't really use Apple Maps yet, but just use Google Maps. Trust me, that's what you want to do for exits, trains, transports, anything you need to do on time. Google Maps, got to have it. There again, we know all the rumors about, the cleanliness, etc. Facts are, it is the cleanest place I've ever been. With that being said, you have to remember, this is a city of about 38 million in the city, and with the suburbs, 40 to 45 million people. To perspective, that's about 4 times the size or so of Manhattan, New York City, folks. Manhattan is a drop on the map when you go up high on a tower and look out over Tokyo. The courtesy, kind of expected it. Everywhere you get, in America, it's going to be high five, nod your head, etc. No, not there. Everything is bow and, thank you. I don't speak Japanese, obviously. I know a few words here and there. Tomere arigato, you're going to learn that a lot. My daughter spoke much better, with courtesies, etc., that she learned or practiced. Most things are duplicate languages, Japanese and English. So for the most part, it's a dual language everywhere. Not everywhere, but most places. Use your translator app on your phone. Like I have an iPhone. You have that Apple Translate. Just hold the photos up, transfers it to any language you want immediately to view, read, or understand something if you need to. You can use that. So that's a great tip. Definitely use your Translate app if you just want to read something. Again, the courtesy is unbelievable. It's just their culture. As an American, it's not something we're used to. We like to think we're a welcoming, nice country, which we are, but this is a different level. There again, this is not a diverse country by their nature. So they're raised from birth to death. This is just who they are, whether it's cleanliness, courteousness, etc. Just accept it, be a part of it. Safety-wise, one of the safest places you ever go. It was unique to ride on mass transit. And there again, the biggest city in the world, 40-some million people, multiple trains, high-speed, regular trains. I'm not afraid to say it. I would not be afraid to drop something on the floor of the subway train and eat it. It's just that clean. As an American, I direly love my country, red, white, and blue through and through. But it's embarrassing how clean you can be if it's a culture. That's just all the way there is about. That's all there is to it. The bullet trains, be prepared for high speed. I've been to Europe many times, rode those. There again, everything I do on these videos will be basically converted to US dollars or to our our standard system of measurements, etc. So I've already figured all that out. Currently, the exchange rate is about 1,000 yen, which is about $6.18 US dollars. So again, six American dollars, give or take, is about 1,000 yen. To put that in perspective, pretty easy to keep track of. $6 to 1,000. Again, the bullet trains, you're looking at, China actually has the fastest bullet trains in the world, ironically. Their typical train system is about 217 miles an hour. Their maglev system, MAGLEV, which is what it sounds like, magnetic levitation. There are no rails or tracks. It's magnetics. They're about 268 miles an hour. In Japan, the Shinkansen, which is the high-speed system they use, you're looking at a standard system right now of about 200 to 237 miles an hour. And I'm telling you, as God is my witness, you're gliding. There is no bumps. There is no, you're just gliding. It's just smooth as an airplane. And then in comparison, France is about 200 miles an hour. And the majority of European countries, I've been to many, they're all in the same type system. You're looking about 200 miles an hour. So with that being said, Japan is moving to I think it's called like phase 3 of the Shinkansen system, which will be the maglev system. They already have some in place. We did not ride it just because it wasn't on our connections. Those average about 375 to pushing 400 miles an hour. There again, that's, I read a video that their goal was to be getting close sooner than later to typical airspeed of 400 to 500 miles an hour. So that's the future. Right now, they're about 375. We stayed in the 200 and some miles an hour system, and I can tell you're just gliding. It's as smooth as can be. As a side note, my research I did showed Shinkansen system's been in place about 60-ish years, give or take. 0 accidents, 0 fatalities. It is what it is. Something to be proud of for them, I guess. Now, convenience stores are another thing you're going to have to get used to. It's a way of life. 24 hours a day, they're open. Lawson's, which are dead in America other than Hawaii, they're everywhere. 7-Eleven and Family Mart. That's your 3 big ones. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're all about the same, give or take a few items. That country lives in convenience stores. It's a prepackaged country. There again, I'm assuming because of the culture, there is no land per se for farming, et cetera, unless you get out into the country. Everything has to go up vertically for building. So there is no gardening, et cetera. There's no large department stores. Other than some malls, there's no grocery stores like that. They're big. You're looking dirt cheap. You could feed a full meal if you spend more than 10 US dollars, you've really splurged. There again, It's a culture of vending machines. It's an absolute gold mine for them. They are everywhere. Again, some data I did said that there's an average of one vending machine for every 4 humans in the country of Japan. That's a lot of vending machines. You'll see streets lined up with them everywhere you go. Inside the parks, amusement parks, we'll get into later. Disney, Universal, we did all those. They are everywhere. Be prepared for it. And there is no tipping in the country of Japan. It's not part of their culture. They don't believe in it. It's actually something that they consider insulting to tip. And from what I've gathered, it's because they feel like that you're stating they're underpaid. So there is no tipping. And if you're a non-citizen, be advised any any products you buy more 55,500 yen or more in one day at a store, you can get your sales taxes removed, which is about 10%. But you have to spend $5,500 per day in a store. You can have more than one receipt in the store. You just got to accumulate them. There's usually an assigned place in every business, but not every business is tax-free, and they'll tell you that. Most are, but not everybody. You're not going to get it at convenience stores, etc., but anywhere else you will for the most part. But you must carry your passport. There's a code you'll get on the Visit Japan app you have to go to the country. They'll put in your passport, they scan that, and it tracks your tax-free money refund back to that. It's streamlined, it's a piece of cake. Just have to carry your passport. It's worth it. It adds up. So, these are just a few tips. I'm going to do several videos on this. We're going to get into next, probably into our first stop, which was a few days at the Disney parks, which there's 2 there, Tokyo Disneyland and Disney CSEA. Still considered probably the best Disney park in the world. But as a little tease, Disney parks in Japan are not owned by Disney. Zero. It's a private equity company. You will never know that unless you research it. You'll never have a clue. But they're not owned by Disney, even though, like I said, they look no different than Florida, California, etc. It's just the way it's done. Other parks are partially owned. For example, the one in China is partially, I think, give or take about 50% Disney owned. But there again, you'll never know it unless you would research it. I think that has a lot to do with the cost that we'll talk about in Disney in another video. And I mean low cost. You can take a family there cheaper than Florida or California. Trust me when we get into that. Just a little tease. Would I go back to Japan? Absolutely. Not anytime soon, because there's many more places I want to go first. But yes, I would recommend it. If you get the good airfare, plan ahead, a few months ahead, you get some good airfare if you're flexible. And I'm telling you, every hotel we stayed in, which was 4 different ones over 2 weeks, those were all at least $1,000 a night hotel in the United States. We didn't pay even $200 a night. And I'm telling you, they're at least $1,000 a night. There again, this was just the first video in the series. We're going to get into many more things. Highly recommend Japan if you've never been there. Definitely will go back someday, just not anytime soon because there's so many other places I'd like to go. It is well worth it financially, and you will reap the benefits of it. Just be prepared for the tips I give you. Convenience stores, no tipping, and prepared for the 13-hour time change and the jet lag. Until next time in our next video on this, keep coming back. We'll give you a lot more tips on this. This is Richard White Global. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Until next time.